Namaste. Uh, Very early on, as a child growing up in Assam, there was a sense in me, and I felt there was me, the child, playing, growing up, and there was something else beyond that. I couldn't really quite put my finger on it, but there was clearly a sense of something beyond me, Kiki, Radhika, and that really intrigued me, that really fascinated me as a child. And of course, we grew up, and I was sent to boarding school and in Darjeeling, and subsequently I came down to Bangalore to further my studies. And during this period, early adulthood, that ceased. That feeling was not there. I didn't have this sense of being separated from this other layer, and the priorities were different, the focus was different. So we moved on, and I, however, chose, or maybe it just happened, to study psychology. And psychology, perhaps in that choice lay that latent question. In my choice to study psychology, that question still sort of probably played around in my mind. Post my college in education and my master's, I began to work in corporate India, in HR, did a bunch of roles, HR, training and development, experiential learning programs. That was the same time I also began to study yoga. As I studied yoga, I began to again see some of those feelings return back. I also began to really see a shift in my behavior. So from psychology, Western psychology, which I studied, to the practice of yoga and Eastern philosophy and mysticism, I began to draw back upon that question. I began to be pulled into that direction of that question again. I began to practice yoga, and through the practice of yoga, I began to understand myself better through the body, through the breath, through the mind, through my friends, my relationships, my interaction, the food I chose to eat, how I nourished myself, the kinds of books I read, the kind of company I kept. So all of this really helped me to understand myself better. So these were tools, these were processes by which I understood myself better. The journey continued, and now as I enter into my 40s, I feel the focus is a little bit more clear. It's a little bit more sharper, there's a little bit more insight, perhaps because of my practice and all these processes that I've been involved in. But as I enter into the 40s, I begin to understand myself in relation to all of this. But I began to realize that it's moving outwards. From the focus on myself, the focus is expanding. So it's almost like I'm moving from a space of ego, self, I-centeredness, to a sense of inclusivity, which means I associate a little bit more with friends and family, of course. We all know them and love them. I associate it with a sangha or a community. People I don't know, people I haven't grown up with, but I still have a sense or belonging with them. I try and move beyond the community to people I don't know and have a sense of belonging with them, and further. So the whole process is becoming a little bit more inclusive, expansiveness, moving, like I said, from ego to a sense of compassion, to a sense of love. And perhaps that's the journey to understanding the self. Perhaps that's what we're all moving towards. And in my journey, it's been fascinating. Right now, I feel again that sense of there's something beyond the I, defined by what I eat, what I read, my friends, my family. There's something beyond that. And the more I reflect upon it, the more I study it through my practice, through horse riding, through acro yoga, through community work, the more I address it, I begin to realize or feel or sense the less I am. Hari Om.